Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
The U.S. Supreme Court rules in favor of speech at funeral protest. I am Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action and associate dean of the law school. Matt, this case is a case that the Supreme Court just recently issued 8-1, and it's involving Fred Phelps and the Westboro Baptist Church. Now, let me begin by saying we certainly distance ourselves from both Fred Phelps and his church organizational efforts, because they are not the way that we would want to express any message. Certainly, in this case, he has riled up a lot of people by protesting around funerals, and that case ultimately went up to the United States Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that he has a constitutional right to be on a sidewalk, even though he's protesting a funeral. The implications of the case could have had huge ramifications for legitimate speech like pro-family, pro-value speech. That's why Liberty Counsel filed a brief in support of the First Amendment on that case.
And that's why the First Amendment is in place, to protect all speech, even unpopular speech, because political speech sometimes and often is unpopular, especially to those who are in political power at the time. This case, it could have been a bad situation, and it could have made bad law. The Phelpses are universally despised by people on all spectrums of the political and philosophical ideology. But that we need to be clear here that we do not defend the deplorable speech of the Phelpses, but they were in a position where they were not directly on top of these funerals. The case in question, the father of this fallen soldier didn't even learn about the Phelps's nasty protest until after the funeral was done. They were over 1,000 feet away in a designated area, so this could have really had implications for legitimate opposition, for instance, to the demonstrably dangerous homosexual lifestyle and immoral homosexual lifestyle. Those of us who hold a biblical worldview of sexual morality and want to share that view and of truth in a loving manner, this could have been a really bad situation for free speech in general.
Really could. And let me reemphasize what you mentioned in terms of the facts of the case. The Phelpses were a long distance away from this actual funeral. You couldn't even see the protest, except for possibly maybe catching a glimpse once in a while of the top of the sign. But the father did not see it, and he did not know about it until after the funeral when he saw it on the media. And that's when he got upset and he filed a lawsuit. That case then went up to the United States Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said the Phelps have a constitutional right to engage in this protest. What had happened is the trial court had awarded millions of dollars against the Phelpses for this protest on behalf of the father of this fallen soldier.
For infliction of emotional distress. Right.
Yeah, that's right. Now, if Phelps had lost the case, and it was a bad factual situation, but if Phelps had lost it, then that means the next time someone wanted to go to an abortion clinic and hand out a flyer showing the alternatives to abortion, development of the child, crisis pregnancy center alternatives, then the abortion clinic people could say, well, they're showing me aborted babies. They have aborted babies on their sign or aborted babies in their flyers, and therefore that's an intentional infliction of emotional upset.
Right.
They could have filed suit, had millions of dollars in damages against the pro-lifers, and literally shut down the pro-lifers.
Well, the court did the right thing here, and they did so with an 8-1 decision, with Justice Alito being the only dissenter. As you mentioned, writing for the majority, Chief Justice John Roberts said, quote, "Given that Westboro's speech was at a public place on a matter of public concern, that speech is entitled to, quote, special protection under the First Amendment. Such speech cannot be restricted simply because it is upsetting or arouses contempt. Now, I want to be clear here. I sympathize completely with the father of this fallen soldier, this brave young man who gave his life so that these people could go out and spew this hatred. But, if it were my son, I know that I'd want to go knock some heads together personally. So personally, we all, I think, empathize with him and the pain and the suffering that this has caused. But here in America, our First Amendment rights must be protected because it puts us on a slippery slope to where unpopular speech starts being quashed.
Yeah, you take this situation with the so-called Philadelphia 11, and these were individuals who were on a public sidewalk, and they were holding signs that said that marriage is between a man and a woman. They had two men. I think one of the signs had a circle with a diagonal line through it, suggesting obviously that same-sex marriage is wrong. They were protesting a gathering of homosexual activists in a nearby park. They were filed against, and if in that particular case they faced up to 40 years of jail time. These were minors all the way up to, I think, in the early 80s. The people of the spectrum that were being targeted there. Had the Phelps case gone the wrong way, then that kind of thing could happen frequently, where people would be targets because they want to have signs that support traditional and natural marriage. They want to have pro-life signs. They want to pass out gospel tracts out in front of an arena where a concert or an event is being held, or somebody who's a presidential candidate comes through your community, and you want to either go out there on the sidewalk and protest or hold up a sign in opposition, then you could be a target of these same individuals. And so that's why this case, I think, was so important, and that explains why Liberty Counsel got involved and filed a brief in support of the First Amendment issues here.
Now, we need to draw a distinction between this case and speech that is still under assault that we see in public schools and elsewhere, where particularly on the homosexual issue, one side is being portrayed. Children are essentially being indoctrinated in public schools by those who support and seek to promote the homosexual lifestyle, whereas those with traditional biblical values relative to sexuality are being silenced within the public school setting. Parents are being told that they cannot opt their kids out of this homosexual propaganda, sex ed, and so forth. So this by no means wipes the slate clean and says that we do not have to. We are not continuing to fight persecution and oppression of free speech, because we certainly are.
What it does, though, what would have happened? You're right. We still have those battles, and those are significant that will continue, and we need to obviously be vigilant in those areas. But what would have happened if the Phelps case had gone the other way is that those battles would become much more difficult to win, and you'd have the floodgates literally open up around the country, and pro-lifers, people that want to share the gospel, you got pro-morality and marriage messages, all of those would be targets, and you'd literally be shut down because of the intimidation factor.
Oh, you can see it now. Public schools that are sympathetic toward the homosexual propaganda and the homosexual activist lobby, that are sympathetic toward Planned Parenthood, and now the National Organization of Marriage would say, well, hey, the decision has been made in the Supreme Court. We are going to shut you up, silence you. The court has said that this type of hate speech must be silenced. So yes, if this had gone the other way, you're exactly right. The floodgates would have been opened.
They really would. So that's why this is an important decision. I'm a little concerned that Alito went the wrong way in this particular case, because you have an 8-1 decision, conservatives and others joining together in the majority, as they should have in this case, because free speech is for all of us, or it's for none of us. The First Amendment really is only working when it protects speech that you disagree with. Because if it only protected speech that you agree with, we're not talking about obscenity and pornography. That's a whole different ballgame. But speech that you don't agree with is when the First Amendment really works. Otherwise, you just need benevolent dictators in power to agree with you. And the problem with that is those people change, and when they change and they disagree with you, that's when you need the protections of the First Amendment.
Yeah, those who control the reins of government at any given time would get to say what is or what is not free speech.
Well, give us a call at 1-800-671-1776, and you can visit our website at lc.org. When you go to the website, sign up for the Liberty Alert email, and also sign up for the Freedom Federation Network. That's right there on the front page as well. And make sure you click on the Awakening 2011. Right on the front page, you need tickets, although the event is free. That is April 8 and 9 at Liberty University. The Awakening 2011 has over 40 speakers from around the country, including presidential candidates that will be coming to Liberty University on April 8 and 9. That's a Friday and Saturday. So get your free tickets now. Tickets are free, but seating is limited, so you need to get those tickets right away. Go to the Awakening website, theawakening2011.com or lc.org. Go to lc.org today.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.